lecture we see the meninges and the CSF. Meninges and the brain and spinal cord are invested by the three concentric membranes. The outermost layer is dura mater, the middle layer is the arachnoid mater, and innermost layer is the pia mater. Cranial meninges contains three layers of protective membrane. First one is dura mater, arachnoid mater, and the pia mater. Dura mater composed of two layers, periosteal and meningeal layer. Periosteal outer layer attached to the bone. Meningeal inner layer closer to the brain. Two layer fuse except to enclose the dural sinuses. Arachnoid layer spider web like. Pia mater delicate follows the convergence. See this picture. In this, first we see the skin, then we see the periosteal layer of dura mater, then bone of the scalp, then periosteal and meningeal layer of dura mater, then arachnoid layer, then this one is the pia mater, and this is nothing but the arachnoid villus, blood vessels, flex cerebri, and this one is the superior sagittal sinus, this one is the subdural face and subarachnoid face. First we see the dura mater. The cranial dura is a two-layered tough fibrous membrane that surrounds the brain. It is formed of two layers, periosteal and meningeal. The periosteal layer is attached to the skull. The meningeal layer is folded, forming the dural folds, that is falx cerebri and tentorium cerebelli. Sensory innervation of the dura is mostly from the three branches of the trigeminal and vagus nerve and C1 and C3. This one is the meningeal layer of the dura mater. Two large reflection of the dura extend into the cranial cavity, the falx cerebri. This is nothing but the falx cerebri. In the midline, it is a vertical sickle-shaped seat of the dura extends from the cranial roof into the great longitudinal fissure between the two cerebral hemispheres. It is an attached border adherent to the skull. Attached border is adherent to the skull, and the free border lies above the corpus callosum. This is the free border of falx cerebri. A horizontal shelf of the dura, the tentorium cerebelli, it lies between the posterior part of the cerebral hemisphere and the cerebellum. It has a preborder that encircles the midbrain. In the midline, it is continuous with the falx cerebri. Then we see the arachnoid mater. The arachnoid mater is soft, translucent membrane, loosely envelopes the brain. The arachnoid mater is separated from the dura mater by subdural face. Arachnoid mater separated by the dura mater by the subdural face. The pia mater is the innermost thin. This one is the pia mater, innermost thin, delicate and highly vascular membrane that is closely adherent to the gyri and fitted into the sulci. Between the pia and arachnoid mater lies the subarachnoid face, which contains fibrous trabeculae, main blood vessel, and the CSF. See this picture. This is scalp, then epicranial aponeurosis, loose connective tissue of periosteum, then cranium. This one is dura mater. This one is arachnoid mater, and this is the cerebral cortex covered by the pia mater. Then we see the subarachnoid face. It is a varied in depth, forming the subarachnoid cistern, subarachnoid cisterna quadrigemia, the cisterna magna or cerebellomedullary cistern, which lies between the inferior surface of the cerebellum and the back of the medulla. At this cistern, CSF flows out of the fourth ventricle. Subarachnoid pes, the interpeduncle cistern, which is located at the base of the brain, where the arachnoid spans the space between the two cerebral peduncle. This cistern contains the optic chiasma, circulus arteriosus of the villus. Then subarachnoid pes pontine cisterna or prepontine cisterna or cisterna pontis surrounds the ventral aspect of the pons. It contains basilar artery and the origin of the anteroinferior cerebellar artery, the origin of the superior cerebellar artery, the sixth cranial nerve. Then we see the CSF. CSF is a clear, colorless and odorless fluid produced within the ventricle secreted by the choroid plexus. The choroid plexus are the area where the lining wall of the ventricle is very thin and has a profusion of capillaries. Provides mechanical support, protection from the pressure changes. In adult, the total volume of CSF is 150 ml. Between 400 to 500 ml of the CSF is produced and reabsorbed daily. Thus, the CSF turns over about 3 to 7 times in a day. This continuous flow into the venous system dilutes the concentration of the larger lipid-soluble molecules penetrating the brain and the CSF. Choroid plexus. This picture shows the choroid plexus. The lining ependyma of each ventricle comes into contact with the surface of the surface pia mater, allowing invasion of the mass of blood capillaries. Combination of the capillaries, pia and ependyma constitute the choroidal plexus. That is, this is nothing but the ependymal cells. These are the blood capillaries, connective tissue layer. This is the cavity of the ventricle. All this is nothing but the section of the choroid plexus. This is pia and this is pia and this is nothing but the ependyma. In some location, pia mater and ependyma comes together. A plexus of the blood vessel invaginate the thin layer. Cerebrospinal fluid enters the ventricle across this membrane. CSF formation. The cerebrospinal fluid is formed mainly in the choroid plexus of the lateral, third and the fourth ventricle. Some originate from the ependymal cells lining the ventricles and from the brain substance through the perivascular phases. Choroid plexus of the lateral ventricle continues through the interventricular foramina with the small plexus in the third ventricle secrete the bulk of CSF. Fourth ventricle, separate from that in the third and the lateral ventricle, only makes a small contribution to the total amount of CSF. See, this is nothing but the lateral ventricle. This one is the third ventricle. Here cerebral aqueduct or aqueduct of Sylvius, and this is nothing but the fourth ventricle. CSF drainage. The CSF returns to the vascular system by entering the dural venous sinuses via the arachnoid granulation. The arachnoid villi act as a one-way valves between the subarachnoid pes and the dural sinus. The rate of absorption correlated with the CSF pressure. CSF drainage flows along the cranial nerves and spinal nerve route into the lymphatic channels. This flow may play a substantial role in the CSF reabsorption, in particular in the neonate in which arachnoid granulation are sparsely distributed. Thank you.